following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WZWA Network's review show here of NXT 2.0. I'm one of your hosts with the most on the West Coast, Karlifornia and Fury, and here is my esteemed co-host, the one and only Jooseyboy, Daniel Johnston. What's up, bro?
Oh, what is going on, man? Another episode of NXT 2.0 done and dusted here for us to chop up and discuss live pre-taped on the WZWA Network YouTube channel.
That's it, cunt. This is a great. This was a. I'll get into it a bit later about how I felt overall about the show, but I felt like I needed to get into the spirit here, Jooseyboy. I needed to, get a taste the rainbow, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Live the rainbow and be the rainbow.
That's it, bro. And whilst you look like you're in grayscale, bro.
Yeah, that's right. The black and white delight.
Very good, bro. So okay. It's been a few weeks now, bro. How are you feeling about NXT? I think this is maybe our fifth review of NXT. How are you feeling about the product?
Well, I have to say, I kind of feel like NXT is like a little bit of a weird one because on one hand, I want to say that it's a dash of fun, it's an injection of fun in the middle of the week. But then I also feel like that is a statement that should apply to Dynamite, but doesn't. It applies to NXT here. At the same time, I feel like there's better character development on the NXT side than there is over on Dynamite. Despite the fact that NXT is meant to be developmental for up-and-coming wrestlers of the future, it already feels like a number of them have already firmly established a lot more about who they are. And it's taken us a lot fewer episodes of NXT, I think, to sort of get ourselves situated and learn who everybody is than it did with AEW. That took a while before we sort of knew who everybody was. There's just so much going on. So I feel like, after the first 5 weeks of reviewing this show overall is a lot more digestible for me personally as a fan. And I find it to be colorful. And I get the same feeling from watching NXT that I do when I sit down to watch an episode of The Simpsons or Family Guy or something like that. And if you know me, that's a huge compliment because I love those shows. I like to turn my brain off and chuck them on. Here, I'm not necessarily turning my brain off because I've never seen it before. Each episode's fresh, but it gives me that same kind of nice vibe where it's like, oh yeah, we're just going to sit down. This is an enjoyable show to sit down and watch and just relax while you watch it. So overall, I'd say I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, bro. It's not blowing my socks off by any means, if that's even a saying. I don't even think that's a saying. But it's not blowing my mind every week. But it's a nice little show, I guess I'll say. And it's easy to follow, so it's okay. All right, let's get into the show, bro. Toxic Attraction, of course. Our favorite stable currently in. I'm speaking for you, bro. I know. This has to be also your favorite stable in pro wrestling right now. 6-person tag team matchup here against Io Shirai, Carter, and Catanzaro. What did you think of the opening contest here, NXT 2.0?
Yeah, I felt like the match in ring didn't really come together for me. I felt like there was a lot of flubs. It seemed like there were a number of things that the performers either had never attempted before getting into this match on TV, or they'd only done it very, very few times, or the person they were doing it to had never taken it before. It just seemed like there was a few issues in this match with the timing and with the execution of some of the spots. So I'd probably have to give this a D+ as a match. However, shout out, I felt like all the ladies involved did some good character work. I felt like, all right, 6 people in the ring. I know who each of these 6 people are. They're all distinct. They all had their own look, their own feel, their own vibe going on. Very important for a good wrestler to be able to put across who they are in the ring. So I want to shout out everyone for that, even if the match didn't really click the way that they probably wanted it to.
Yeah, bro. It was, I guess the purpose of this was to get Toxic Attraction over. They needed to, last week they had to powder to the outside after these three babyface ladies, I guess, got the better of them in the ring. So I think it was important for them to pick up a victory here to solidify themselves right now as not just Toxic Attraction, but the main attraction for NXT 2.0. Every time they're on the screen, I am incredibly interested, bro. As are you, as should any hot-blooded male. Let's just call a spade, bro, okay?
Well, dude, I don't care what your sexual orientation is, what your gender is. Toxic Attraction, when they're on the screen, the camera loves them. You know what I'm saying? There's just a presence there. I can't think of anybody that wouldn't find Toxic Attraction, whether you love them or hate them, to be destination viewing when they're watching NXT.
Definitely, bro. I hated the advert break during the match. Hated it. Mm-hmm. It really kind of ruined the flow just as I started to kind of get into it. There was a good moonsault at one stage by Io Shirai. Like seeing a moonsault that doesn't get overshot. That's 2 this week. Hopefully AEW don't let us down tomorrow. I'm sure there will be about 10 of them attempted. So good finish of the match. I like Gigi Dolan's finishing move. I don't know what that is. It's like an abdominal stretch into like a I don't even know what you would call that.
It was basically like she kind of locked in an abdominal stretch, had one arm hooked back here, the other leg steps over. But then what she did was she kind of dropped down into like a schoolboy. But whereas when you do a standard schoolboy, the person just rolls back because her arm was trapped. She didn't have any way to break her fall. So it was kind of a schoolboy type maneuver, but it had much more impact because of the arm trap that was applied to it. And I'd never seen that variation before of, I guess you would call it some kind of almost like a variation of like a Russian leg sweep or something like that. Very, very interesting move. I liked it.
What would you know, bro? What would you know?
Not much.
Your analysis there on the maneuver.
Not much.
Just picking on you for no reason. Just trying to start an issue out of nothing.
Hey, well, you know what?
That this went 17 minutes, bro. This went 17 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, that's
17 minutes. Yeah.
I remember us mentioning in the match, bro, that was another thing. They gave this match, and that's why I say it goes back to them doing some great character work in this. Like, you give the ladies time, then the audience comes away more invested after each match. Like, instead of on Dynamite or most episodes of Raw and SmackDown over the last 20 years, the women would get like 2 or 3 minutes and that would be it. That would include the entrances. Here we had a nice solid, 15-minute match. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was a little less than 17, but this, and including 2 other women's matches on the show. I know that the other 2 ladies' matches didn't last very long, but that might have gone longer than the whole Queen of the Ring tournament. Just putting that out there. I don't know. But the ladies are getting more time on this show than they're getting on WWE, who have a lot of fucking TV time, and AEW. And I will be bringing that up more going forward. Okay, moving forward, bro. Okay, so I wasn't offended by this at all. But moving forward, the Saucy Minx interviews Pete Dunne, and he immediately interrupted by Trick and Mello, which is leading to some sort of matchup later on. We've been going on about it for weeks. It happened several times on the show. The interruption for the interview, bro. What did you think of this? Do you think this is? Am I being picky with NXT here? Because I don't want, I don't let AEW get away with things. But this being a build for their main event on the show,
Nah, you know what, man? I actually was thinking that when the segment happened, I was like, Carl's going to catch that, like it was a thing where I found myself being annoyed in the wrong way that Trick and I'm sorry, I can never remember both of their names. Sorry.
Mello.
Yeah,
Carmelo
that's right.
Hayes.
That's right. Trick and Mello, right? I was annoyed when they interrupted, but for the wrong reason. Because I was annoyed because I felt like, I wanted to know what Pete Dunne had to say. And if he didn't have anything to say originally, and he was only there to get interrupted, well, then now you're insulting my intelligence as a fan. You know what I'm saying? It's absurd to just set up an interview only to have it be interrupted. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have any authenticity to it. So here we go again. Trick and Mello walk up. They interrupt before Pete Dunne's got 2.5 words out of his mouth, and they kind of have this schoolyard confrontation going back and forth, and it establishes that there's going to be a match between them later. They want to fight each other. This pretty much, man, this wasn't really a great segment at all. This is going to get a D-. Like this did not go well at all. This did feel very thrown together and rushed.
I agree. I don't know if Johnny Gargano is injured or not. I don't think he would be. He wrestled last week, but like put him against Trick in the main. I don't know. I guess they're trying to maybe set something up for War Games, and this is the way that they're going to do it. They're probably going to have a multi-man match for the fucking North American Championship, whatever. Anyway, moving away from here, we go back to the arena, bro, okay? And Toxic Attraction are still standing there. And we remarked about this. We thought, what have they been doing? Just standing there? Some of these things are just a little bit contrived, I think. No one would do that. And when you're looking at your format for your show, I would think that someone say, don't you think it's weird that they're just standing in the same spot for like several minutes? I mean, I don't know how long the Pete Dunne interview went for. It was only like a minute and a half, maybe at most, but still, who would just still stand there for that amount of time, just staring? And like, is Io Shirai still in the ring looking back at them? I don't know. Weird,
that did come across really weird, but I think they did it for a reason. It was, once again, they did something absurd so they could set something else up. Tell us what that was, Carl.
Yeah. Well, Kaylee Ray finally, after the weeks of vignettes of her destroying different things in whatever one of those rooms are called.
In a rage room.
She's been in rage room. That's right. She comes out. She finally makes an appearance on the show, and that leads to, I guess, a stare off between her and Mandy Rose, and that leads to Kaylee Ray taking on Sarray in a singles match. Again, 2 ladies matches on the show this week. AEW, since I've been watching, and a Dark and Elevation don't count.
No one watches them.
Never have I seen more than 1 ladies match on a show. So, bro, what did you think of the second contest here, Kaylee Ray versus Sarray?
You know what? I was impressed with this. This was a good little match. Did a great job of getting Kaylee Ray over. Obviously, she was well established on NXT UK, but I'm assuming most people in America don't watch the UK NXT. So here she is. She's come over to the States now, and this was a good little showcase to establish her on the show. But I want to say as well, like Sarray, I was really impressed as well by her. Like I found myself thinking like, okay, she's fulfilling her role really well. And as the match went on, I was like, this is a good match. Like both these ladies are talented. Like I enjoyed this. I'd probably give this a B+. Like I thought this was pretty good.
Yep. I know what else you were thinking about, Sarray. You got the horn for her, mate. You got the horn for her.
She's gorgeous as well, man. All the women in NXT are just stunning,
Well, of course, absolutely. Yes, I thought that the match was good. It served its purpose. Kaylee Ray goes over. Foregone conclusion, though, bro. Foregone conclusion.
It's
okay.
You're right.
I'll let him off once a show. Is it MSK? Is that the tag team? They're out and about. They're baked, obviously. Is that who they are?
I'm not even fully sure. They didn't really say. I think it is. Yeah, I think it was. I might actually have to look up the results. Start telling everyone about what happened, and I'll look that up.
Well, I don't really know what was going on. I know last week they were at a bus stop and they missed their bus because they were talking about this guy and they mentioned what the MSK stood for. It was quite funny, but that was a week ago. So I find it peculiar that within a week they're still out and about traveling. I know it's a vignette. I know I'm just picking at it for the sake of it, but
Yeah.
they've gone to find this guy at this establishment, I suppose, and they've moved, and now they have to get on a plane to go meet up with this guy.
Yep.
And I don't really understand. I didn't really understand what was going on in this promo. All I knew was that in this vignette, that the gimmick has something to do with weed. I don't know.
Yeah, my understanding of it was that we're continuing on now from last week. We saw last week that they missed that bus. And so they were like, oh shit, we're going to have to walk now. So that was how the segments ended last week. So obviously this week we pick up and now they've been walking all this time and they're getting sick of it, only to find, boom, the address has moved. So now this place they've been searching for in these vignettes has now moved and they've decided it's 400 miles away. We're going to fly there. Then one of the guys says that he's already flying and his tag team partner responds, well, no more supplies for you until we get ourselves cleaned up and get on the way there. Basically, they've been getting high all this time while they've been walking around trying to find this place in like a drug-addled daze, and now they've found that the address has moved, and they're idiots, and they're still trying to get to this place after all this time. So, it was a little hard to understand, but that's kind of what I understood to be happening. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see till next week, bro, what happens.
Yeah, it's obviously building to something. Cutting away from this. This happened after Kaylee Ray's entrance, and then the ladies' match happened. But this is just the way that I put it in my notes. The way that they format the NXT show, they throw all this shit in after someone's made their entrance, so it makes my notes get a bit jumbled all over the place. Moving forward, bro, Joe Gacy backstage with the saucy minx. I'm just going to say that every time. He has an interview. I don't even really remember what he said, but it was probably the same as usual. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think Joe Gacy is probably one of the best on the mic in NXT. I really like his work. He has a real clear understanding of what the character is and what he's trying to get across. And this was no different. Just a little setup for the upcoming Joe Gacy match later on. And no complaints here. C+.
C+.
Yeah,
it's reared its ugly head again.
Yeah, it has.
Reared its ugly head again.
We're back on the C+.
All right.
What are you going to do about it? What you going to do about it?
Okay, strike one. There you go. So you want to get some attitude with the host of the show here today. You're just my co-host. I'm the host with the most on the West Coast, so I applied a strike there. Strike one, bro. Gacy versus Boa. Okay, I'm taking this, bro. Good match. Liked it. Hated the finish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. I know last week he was in a match and then he went backstage and Xia Li was gone from the room. And now she wasn't even on the show at all here tonight. I don't know if he got possessed in the room when she wasn't there. I'm guessing that might have been what happened because before that he wasn't wearing face paint. And, look, it's funny that I like things like The Undertaker and how he controls the elements of things within the arena. He can get the lights to turn on. Kane has the ability to have fire shoot out of the ring posts and shoot a fucking lightning bolt out of his finger or would a fireball out of his finger. And Undertaker can get lightning to strike from the, all of that stuff. For whatever reason, that's fine with me. But for me, seeing all the lighting go weird and music kind of playing and he's fucking choking Gacy.
I'll point out, I've got the difference for you right here, bro. The difference is those examples that you pointed out that you were okay with didn't just used to randomly occur during matches, okay? They didn't just used to happen in matches randomly. And also the effects back in the day, when these things did used to happen, used to be much more practically based and much more visceral. Now they tend to just use a lot of lighting effects because lighting's much more advanced these days. And so they tend to just use a lot of computer graphics and lighting, different lighting colors and stuff to do this sort of thing. And you know what? It comes across just as phony as if you were watching a performance of fucking, I don't know, some fucking play. Like if you were watching Cats on stage, that this is no different from that. And yet we're somehow supposed to believe that it physically influenced the outcome of this wrestling match. That's the issue with it. Kane and Undertaker weren't winning WWF title matches by summoning lightning and then having the guy get burned by the fire or whatever. Like, it's just, it doesn't have any credibility to back it up or any context to make it forgivable the way that they presented this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with Kane and Undertaker, there's pretense to their characters being kind of supernatural in a way, but this guy, all of a sudden, he's got face paint on. I know the Zia Lee is a bit of a weird character as well, but I just didn't like it, man. It really it just seemed completely out of place.
I'm not going to dismiss the character straight away out of hand. Like, I'll see what happens next week. Like it's not like I'm not totally over the character, but this particular segment didn't work, I don't think.
No, did you have a rating for it?
I would probably give this a D-. That's
a shame because usually Joe Gacy gets good ratings throughout our reviews, but bit strange that he's kind of like an afterthought to this whole scenario because he's been getting kind of more of a push than Boa over the last few weeks. Moving forward, bro, Ikemen, Gyro, and Kushida dressed up in an interview with Saucy Minx. They are making fun of the Diamond Mines tag team, the Cree brothers, which cuts to a Diamond Mine promo. They're in the training facility and I guess a little bit of build for the matchup later on. Any thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I thought this was fantastic. This entire thing is getting an A+ and a DJ recommendation. Go out of your way to check this one out. I can't do it justice. This reminded me almost of like a build-up scene in some kind of like a Rocky movie or something like that, where now, like Rocky, in this case, it's Jiro and Kushida. They're doing a promo, and then we cut to the dastardly heels in their lair. In this case, it's the Diamond Mines training facility. You see that they're all there together as a faction. They train together. They spend time together. Malcolm Bivens orders him to shut the projector off. I also like the fact that they just had it roughly playing onto the wall, like via a projector. They didn't have a fancy screen or a TV or a monitor, that you sometimes... This made sense that these guys wouldn't give a shit about having a TV because it's their training facility. So another great touch there. Bivens asked them to shut the damn thing off. Cuts a promo about how basically, those two are idiots and the Diamond Mine are serious, and they are going to continue the aggression and the energy that was established by Roderick Strong last week when he made a fool out of Odyssey Jones. So again, we talk about weaving storylines in and out of each other. We're calling back to what happened last week. We're looking forward to what's about to happen coming up later this week. You know what I'm saying? And it feels like what happened last week matters to what's going to happen this week. So, really good. Really well done. Probably one of my favorite segments on this entire episode, bro. I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Moving forward, a solo Sikoa interview. Doesn't even get 2 words out, man. Like, barely gets 2 words out. Grayson Waller interrupts. I just wrote, I'm fucking sick of this shit. Like, I get it enough with AEW, and it just seems like this is a formula that is just over fucking used. There's got to be other ways to fucking have confrontations. Then LA Knight interrupts Grayson, which leads to a three-way match. I reckon I could have done without this and just have the three-way match be announced because of what happened last week when Sikoa, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, Sikoa beat one of them up. Whatever. Anyway,
that was a Halloween Havoc where he showed up and tossed Grayson Waller over the rope and stuff.
Yeah, and then the following week something else happened. Whatever it was, I can't remember. But what did you think of this?
Once again, man, hashtag unwelcome interruption. Start that trending on our Twitter. That this is just an ongoing epidemic within professional wrestling programming right now, as Carl is wont to say every single week till he's blue in the face. Unwelcome interruptions are unwelcome for the wrong reasons if there's not a reason for the promo to be happening in the first place. Having said that, the best part about this interview was Grayson Waller and LA Knight, their little feud and rivalry. I love it when they have a rivalry between two charismatic assholes, you know, in wrestling. These two obviously are that. They're both egomaniacs, ego monsters. They start going back and forth. Now they've dragged Solo Sikoa into this whole thing, or so they think. Solo Sikoa ends up making it a triple threat. So once again, it's like the wrestlers can just announce their own matches. You know, there was no mention that William Regal like set this match up or approved of this match or sanctioned it in any way. So it's like that same issue we talk about on AEW where talents just can decide to have matches with each other. That was another problem I had with this. But I did like at the very end how LA Knight's talking trash in Grayson Waller's face, and Grayson Waller just goes, "Look, dude, you're obsessed with me, man. It's obvious. You're obsessed with me. You love me." Like, and then it cut as he was saying that. I thought that was hilarious. So props to him on that.
Yeah, that was good. And, you know, I didn't mention it when I gave my critique, but yes, it made up for it at least. I was sick and tired of the cookie cutter fucking interruption. Right, coming up next, Jacket Time. The debut, I don't know. Yeah, I guess this is the debut tag match. Jacket Time taking on the Creed brothers. I'm going to let you take this one, bro. What did you think?
Well, first of all, I mean, Jacket Time, the team of Jiro and Kushida, both guys are supremely talented. Jiro has already been doing the jacket gimmick wherein he has some sort of fancy bright colored blazer on that he actually wears in ring with his wrestling attire as he works in the ring. So now he and Kushida have teamed up and they're calling themselves Jacket Time, and instantly they're over with me. This match was already over with me. This had already earned its good rating before anything happened. As soon as I saw Jacket Time come out, both wearing fancy jackets. The entire gimmick is the fancy jackets and nothing else. And that is just tops in my book. The Creed brothers come out, loved the amateur wrestling. They actually dress like amateur wrestlers, you know, and then they perform like it as well. Very interesting contrast. You're seeing these guys with the Japanese style mesh against these very technical mat-based catch wrestling specialists in the Creed brothers. The contrast in styles was very entertaining. I really liked this entire match, and I loved the. It was almost like it was a weird, almost takedown-esque move, but then it kind of ended up transitioning into a power bomb that Creed delivered to get the win. I really thought that was an interesting move. I'd never seen a power bomb executed in that way. Wanted to point that out, and this is getting an A- from me.
Excellent, bro. Yeah, I thought it was a great match. I do like seeing the mixture of styles here and how they work together. Really looking forward to Diamond Mine. I said this to you when we were watching it. I'm looking forward to a time when they're in a situation that calls for it to be like a hardcore match or something of that nature, because how are these amateur wrestlers and these kind of shoot kind of wrestlers, how are they going to adapt to a different environment like that?
I mean, you know what, bro? I'm probably most intrigued to see how they go inside a War Games match.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. So yeah, great finish to the match. Then there's an attack afterward. Our boy Odyssey Jones makes a run in to make the save. He has a sick presence, bro, when he fires up, man.
Oh, man.
I was like, he's a star of the future, bro.
The crowd was into this, man. The crowd was whipped into a frenzy by Odyssey Jones. You know what, man? I felt like I was watching an old clip from the territories when he ran in. The crowd had a genuine reaction. They were pumped up, man. Here's this big hoss, Odyssey Jones. He's come in. He's going to get revenge on the Diamond Mine. Once again, Brutus Creed takes a bump. I think Bivens might have taken a bump. But there's Cruiserweight champion Roderick Strong, who beat Odyssey Jones last week, rolls out of the ring and runs away like a weasel. Odyssey Jones is yet to get his hands on Roderick Strong. This is continuing to be built week to week. And once again, I know we're not supposed to compare. How hard is that, AEW? It's just not hard. So now we're going to be looking forward to seeing next week the next chapter in this issue between Odyssey and Roderick Strong. And I'm going to give this a B+. I thought this was one of the most exciting moments of the show as well.
Excellent, bro. Speaking of exciting moments of the show, following this, we see Toxic Attraction headed toward their car.
Looking good, by the way.
Why is that exciting? Because they're all wearing tight pants. Come on. I want to actually just take a moment to compliment all the ladies on their outfits. They clearly have like a great fashion sense, and everything that they would trying to pull off with their looks, it worked for me. And by the way, I know that it seems like maybe hopping on something small here, but the fact that I'm talking about it right now shows how important little details like that are. If you know there's going to be a camera on you when you're walking in the parking lot later on in the show, have something interesting on that you're wearing. Think that like what would my character wear when they're not in the ring? And these characters, Toxic Attraction, would not ever be caught dead in hoodies and sweatpants. They're dressed to the nines, even just to leave the arena, get in their cars and go. All adds to like the fullness of the characters. Sorry, but I just wanted to mention that as well. No, it's important to have. They don't do it as much anymore, especially WWE and sometimes in AEW. But AEW a little bit better at it though. People do have streetwear. People do dress in other things other than their ring gear. I think that it's always been something that's got on my nerves. Someone comes out to cut a promo and they're in their tights, and it's like,
oh my god, dude! John Cena used to show up on TV in his shorts, t-shirt, and knee pads and sneakers, even when he was meant to be fired and watching the show from the crowd. Or like the year that he wrestled The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and he's bought a ticket to WrestleMania, and there he is in the front row. They see him. And he's fucking wearing knee pads, man. Like, so you're not just there because you bought a ticket, John. You're there to wrestle because you're wearing the pads. Why even go? It's just shit like that. Just is again an insult to intelligence, and that's not here nor there because we're talking about NXT. But boy, that shit boils my blood.
That's it, bro. So they're talking to the camera. I like that they happen to notice that the camera crew there, they want some thoughts from them, and they give their thoughts. And then what do you know? Raquel Gonzalez rocks up on that fucking bike. That was sick. That made her look real badass. She tells Mandy to keep the title warm for her, drives off straight back into the arena. She's pissed off. She gets on the mic. She calls out Dakota Kai. She's had enough. She wants a piece of her. Dakota comes out, starts laughing, starts cutting a bit of a promo, but then all of a sudden, this is an interruption I don't mind because holy shit. Cora Jade fucking runs in, attacks her after what happened last week. And you know what? For a second, I thought it was Paige because all I could see was this dark hair kind of flying around the place. I was like, at first, I was like, no, that's not her. There's no way Paige has made a return right here, right now. I would have heard something about that. But no, it was her. She attacked her. It gets split up. Raquel and Cora Jade have a little bit of a conversation about Raquel wanting to kick that ass first. Nice little segment. got him on the show. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought this was really well done. This is what there needs to be more of across the board in professional wrestling, both men and women's divisions. B minus. This was really, intriguing again. Something that again makes you interested to see what's going to happen next week.
Yeah. Moving forward, Chase University segment. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought this was another good Chase University segment. Didn't really do much to add on to the Chase Universe, like what's going on. But I like the fact that in this particular segment, we had, once again, a student pointed out what had happened to Andre Chase the previous week. Obviously, things didn't work out very well for Andre last week. And he immediately chastised that student, tossed him out, tossed his chair at the wall, and then praised another student who came to Andre's defense and argued against the first guy. So once again, it's just establishing that Andre Chase doesn't really care about educating anyone. It's all just about feeding his ego. And this segment, again, served that purpose of showing us what an egomaniac Andre Chase is. So I'd give this a C+. Your favorite rating?
Strike 2. Okay. Moving forward, bro. There's another vignette that I didn't really understand what the fuck was going on. So Pete Dunne, and I don't even know the name of his tag partner. Worst memory, bro. Worst memory. I don't know, they're out and about. They steal some guy's phone and order some Uber Eats or something, and then they're eating the food at the side of the road. And I don't know what the fuck this was all about, bro.
Yeah,
What did you think?
well, I took it to be that they were demonstrating how useful it can be being able to make a distraction, because they stole some food off some guy after going through some comically designed caper that they're going to carry out. They do the caper, that they've stolen the food, they're eating the food, and then one of them says, now that is why a distraction to the referee is a good idea. And the segment ended. I felt like this came across a little too convoluted and a little too it just felt like it was a little too granular. Like, I feel like a lot of people watching will tune in and have the same reaction you did, where they'd be like, what the fuck is going on? You know, because this whole thing probably went for about 50 seconds or something like that. Couldn't have been longer than a minute. So it really didn't go for very long at all, and definitely not long enough to actually kind of catch up with what was happening in the segment as it went along. So it did feel a little rushed. I'm going to give this a D+. It just seemed a little out of nowhere and a little bit just weird. Like a little out of place. Like, it was kind of weird. I don't know. That's the best way I can describe it.
I don't think I can fucking put together like what it did for anybody. Anyway. Unfortunately, I wasn't really enjoying this episode, and I have to be honest when I'm feeling that way. Right, moving forward. Next, we've got Cameron Grimes. I should have fucking looked up the guy's name. He was against. I can't remember his name. I think he's one of the Chinese guys that got signed a little while back. It was a squash. This is to further the story between Cameron Grimes and Duke Hudson. Duke comes out, watches the match. I wrote down at this point, I'm a little bit bored. After the match is over, Grimes has got the win. There is a promo showdown between Grimes and Duke Hudson. I got fucked off with the fans chanting the what chant. Mm-hmm. Come on, it's been 20 fucking years.
It's been 20 years, and it wasn't funny then. Okay, it wasn't cool when everyone used to be like, what, in the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era. No one sat at home watching SmackDown and thought, gee, this promo segment is so much better because the audience is chanting what in between every fucking sentence. Sorry, Carl, go ahead.
No, but it's just annoying, bro. Like, you know, they did it a few weeks ago on AEW, and then they did it fucking here. Okay, when Austin's out there, sure, because he wants it to happen because it makes sense for it to happen. Don't keep fucking interrupting wrestlers when they're trying to cut their promos. It fucking does my head in, dude. Fuck, if I was in that crowd, I'd just be looking around like at everyone like, are you a fucking idiot? Like, stop. Listen to what the cunt's trying to say. Shit. But yeah, Grimes is quite the character. I'm entertained by this guy. I thought these two did good back and forth here, and they're lining up a poker showdown next week. Thoughts, rating, Jooseyboy.
Yeah, I'll just quickly mention. Yeah, I think both guys, as you said, Cameron Grimes, great character. He showed a bit more of a serious side of himself in this promo when he was called out and taken to task by Duke Hudson. Hudson kind of alluded, like basically said, are you actually as much of an idiot as you appear? You know, and then Cameron Grimes essentially replied and said, look, I know I do carry myself a certain way, but push comes to shove, I'll get it done. In the ring, at the poker table, because I'm Cameron Grimes. So I liked seeing that side of him. That was good. Duke Hudson, got to hear a little bit more from him. He's a very well-spoken, very articulate character. And yeah, this, aside from the what chance, like this would have been an A- segment, but it's going B+ because the audience chants just really kind of ticked me off. And Duke didn't do anything to talk over those chants. He let them happen. So yeah.
Yeah. Everyone needs to be taught how to change the cadence of their verbiage.
Like if you listen to, yeah.
Cut them off. It happened a few weeks ago. I know Ethan Page on AEW, he fucking handled it like a champion. And Mandy Rose was able to figure it out as well.
Lambert's good as well.
Yeah. Okay, go. Bro. It's because I wrote the word Grimes as I was saying, bro. Moving forward, Sikoa, Waller, LA Knight, triple threat match. I have no notes other than Sikoa wins. I wasn't offended by this, just wasn't really into it. I don't know. I wasn't really into this episode. What did you think of this triple threat match?
I kind of felt like, much like the actual promo that set it up, like this match did not have any heat to it. It felt more like a pit stop on the road to whatever is happening between Waller and LA Knight, which I was speculating to you that obviously they're going to end up having a big match on pay-per-view. I think that's then going to evolve into a tag team where they kind of begrudgingly, they don't like each other at first, like a buddy cop thing, but then they start getting along. I think that's where we're going. This match felt like a pit stop on that and nothing more. Obviously, Solo Sikoa got the win, so they were trying to kill two birds with that. But I would have rather have seen Solo Sikoa just have his own match, and I would have rather to see more promo work between Waller and LA Knight than to have seen this match. So I'm going to give this thing a C-. You know, I thought it, like you, wasn't offended by it, but it also felt flat and was just kind of there as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, look, and I understand that the weekly show is supposed to be the advertisement for a pay-per-view or advertisement to get the network so you can watch the big NXT special. So I get that this is what this show is. This show is just trying to build little angles here and there until we get to the bigger shows where there is, our blow-off matches or our feud-ending matches. So I understand that, and I'm not expecting NXT to have the best possible show that they can possibly put together every single week, because there's a purpose to it not being amazing every week, I suppose. Although I still think that you can do both. After this, Indi Hartwell and Persia with the Saucy Minx. One of my favorite things on the show, because hey T, how you doing, Tom?
Hey T, how you doing, Tom?
How you fucking doing, Tom?
Hey, how the fuck are you? Oh, come over here.
How you fucking doing, huh?
I don't hear from you anymore. Huh?
Look at you, your skin and bone. Have you been eating?
Have you been eating? Manja. What's the matter with you, huh?
Yeah, we're going to keep making that longer and longer every week. He interrupts them. He cracks a joke about his cousin Angelo, going through metal detector. He thought it was hilarious. No one else laughed. I found it hilarious. And it's so typical. And he's got a gift, I guess, for Indi Hartwell and her partner Dexter. And that is a fish, because he's obviously warning Dexter that he'll be sleeping with the fishes. Mm-hmm. And he also hands Persia some money, which she puts in her bra, which I popped for. She didn't care if it was his money.
That is such an Australian chick thing to do. Like, all right, and then put it in her bra.
Yeah. Thoughts, bro. Thoughts.
Yeah, so a number of things I want to point out, because I love the little details Tony D'Angelo puts into his character. There are some times where you think, oh, it's going to be one-dimensional, and with a lot of other people, maybe it would be a one-dimensional character. But, okay, he called Indi Hartwell Mrs. Loomis. That's a mob-style thing, the old Italian-American respect. Great little touch to his character, calling him Mrs. Loomis. Obviously, the fish that he presents to her, it's a warning. It's meant to say, I'm coming after your husband. She just seemed to be, she being Indi Hartwell, pronouns pal, she seemed to be just perturbed and vexed by the whole situation. She didn't seem frightened or amused or anything like that. So I thought that both from Tony D'Angelo and the ladies as well, I thought everyone played their part perfectly. And, I'm excited to see this match between the two of them, Dexter Loomis and Tony D'Angelo, next week. And I'd give the promo and segment a B+.
Wonderful, bro. Wonderful. Tony never fails to make us laugh. Okay, moving forward, bro. Elektra Lopez. I have to apologize. Last week, I thought she and Lash Legend were the same person. And then now I'm realizing, like, they don't even look like each other at all. I guess they're just, like, kind of two sassy chicks. They kind of look similar with their hair. And
like, it's
they need to make some separation there.
The characters are very, kind of similar in that regard, I think.
Yeah, man. I mean, I haven't been watching long, so no wonder I fucking mixed them up. But it didn't take long, and I was like, oh shit. Last week I was saying it was Lash Legend, but why would it be? It's not her. When I really think about it, it's not her at all.
5 inches shorter than fucking Lash Legend as well.
So she gets a squash win here, bro. What do you know? 3 women's matches on the show. Mm-hmm. Plus, we also had, the Raquel Gonzalez segment. So, like, the ladies are taking up, like, maybe even half of the show here. Wow, how fucking hard is that? NXT, I'll give them credit on this. They've got the same amount of time AEW have, but they still managed to fit more shit in, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it might mean that there's a little bit more shorter matches, but I'm not offended by shorter matches, bro. I don't need a fucking 20-minute main event or 25-minute main event.
That's what the pay-per-views are for, man. That's what the pay-per-views are for. And there are occasions where you want to do a longer main event style match on TV, but that's rare. You don't need anything more than a good 15 minutes, really. And another 10 for whatever your angle is, before or after.
That's fucking it. She gets the win, calls out Xyon Quinn. I like it, bro. She's into him.
Tension.
She wants him to join. What are they called? Legado del Fantasma.
That's correct. Legado del Fantasma.
Yep. So he asks him to join. He says that she's amazing, but he's not interested or whatever. Her boys get pissed off. He ends up laying them both the fuck out. She tries to hit him. He grabs her hand. She tries to hit him with the other hand. He grabs the other hand. He kind of spins her around like a dance move. And then they lock eyes, and it's this really sexy moment, I suppose you could say, between the two of them. And he lets her go. Off he goes. She's clearly still interested in him, despite the fact that the tag team she's looking after there clearly are not impressed with him. Isn't it funny how they went 1 minute from like being like they want him all in, the two dudes want him all in, just like 1 second, and all of a sudden it flips, and like now he's the enemy. Bro, what did you think of this?
I thought this was brilliant. I thought Elektra especially did really well. Like, I'm sure that she in real life thinks that this Xyon Quinn guy is a really handsome drink of water, because you could see the sexuality like oozing from her body during this segment, like while she was held by him. So I don't know if in real life she has a different partner, or if she's single, or anything about that situation. But this was a really well-performed segment, and it felt like a genuine moment of, like, you know, la passion, you know, like it felt like we've got some body heat going on in here, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes. But here's the thing, it's more than just a romance angle. As I was saying to Carl, as we're watching this, who knows what's going to happen? Is Xyon Quinn actually going to end up joining with Legado del Fantasma? Is he going to join and end up taking it over because he becomes Elektra's main man in the faction? Is he going to join it and destroy it from within? Is he going to be asked to join it and Elektra is actually plotting against him this whole time, and there's this big plan to get him somehow, and that's what it is? Or is it going to be all-out war between Xyon Quinn and Delgado El Fantasma, with Elektra in the middle? So there are just so many avenues where this can go, and that is why this is, you know, another great example of good storytelling on this episode.
You just said Delgado El Fantasma.
Yes. I'm sorry, guys.
Dude, it's hard to remember. It is hard to remember, bro. Right? I keep having a hard time remembering it.
Send your hate tweets to Jooseyboy.
Yeah, and despite that, it's 2.5 strikes now. Thank you.
Yes.
Kyle O'Reilly with an interview of the Saucy Minx. She's been all over the show. Mackenzie, which I'm not complaining about. So he has an interview talking about wanting, you know, his dream of, you know, continuing being a singles wrestler, or this tag team with Von Wagner, blah, 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 going on. And then he mentions wanting to go for the tag team titles. Imperium interrupts, not the interruption, which leads to Von Wagner with the double interruption. And it leads to Imperium walking off, whatever. I want to say this. Last week, Imperium and Gigi and JC from Toxic Attraction, there was a thing going on there, and they said to them to watch their match next week, and then well, there's nothing happened this week. I'm a bit disappointed there. I wanted that kind of story to continue. Maybe it will later on, but what did you think, Brian?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it was better than the other backstage promos / unwelcome interruptions. I thought, at least in this case, he had more of an opportunity to talk before Imperium showed up. And then when they did show up, you actually heard them off screen start talking crap, and then the cameraman kind of notices, and then he goes over there. So I was like, all right, there's how you do an interruption. You actually have a promo that gets interrupted. You don't just do an interruption for the sake of it. So I thought that was good. But once again, overall, it just ended up falling kind of flat. I wasn't really that interested in it. D+.
Yeah, man, it's like he's starting to be interviewed. Surely he can tell that there's two guys standing like right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they can't be that far away from him. Someone's got to do something about this fucking cut and paste bullshit. Okay, we're getting to nearly the end of the show here, bro. Carmelo Hayes Pete Dunne, Trick Williams at ringside. It's a non-title match. The North American champion taking on the Bruiserweight. I'm just going to say this before I give it to you. I didn't care. They worked very hard. It was a good match, but I just didn't really care. There was a situation with Dexter Lumis coming out on commentary. I don't think he even said anything. If he did, I didn't notice. So I don't know what the point of that was.
He never talks, man. I think.
Well, why did put their headset on then?
I think that was
why
was
would he
the
do
point. I think that was just the point. Is that it was ironic, like, oh, he never talks.
Oh,
but he's got the headset on. I don't know.
So yeah, it was an all right match. There was one sick move in the match where he kind of gave him like a fucking code breaker-esque type move, and Pete Dunne really fucking bumped it like crazy. And the finish comes with a bit of Johnny Gargano interference or whatever, or distraction, which leads Pete Dunne to getting the win. And I'm guessing that they're leading to some sort of multi-man North American championship match coming up at War Games. This end of the show, bro, what did you think?
I'm in agreement with you, basically. I thought the match was technically very well executed. I have to give the guys high marks on that. I'd probably give the match itself, C+. Like, I thought it was good, but it wasn't anything to set the world on fire. And, the rest of it, man, the whole thing overall, again, I just felt like it's kind of flat. I just had that feeling again. There's not that much heat on this match. You can bring out Dexter Lumis later on. You can bring out Johnny Gargano, but we haven't really seen them throughout the entirety of the show. And the only person who mentioned Dexter Lumis otherwise was Tony D'Angelo and Indi Hartwell, who had nothing to do with what we saw in the main event. So I just felt like all of this, once again, came off flat to me. And it didn't feel like as much thought had been put into this as we sometimes see with some of their other storylines. So I'd give probably the interference and the actual storyline element of this, I'd have to give that a D+. I didn't think that it had that much effect.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of the review there, bro. I just didn't really enjoy this week's episode. No Bron Breakker, no Tommaso on the show.
Well, that's because they were in England, bro.
Except for was NXT in England, or was it the WWE in England?
That's what they were saying though. Like they brought those guys over with the main roster tour. Yeah.
Okay. If that's what the case was, then fair enough. But yeah, I felt like something was missing on this show. Okay, man. Yeah. I'll ask you right now what your rating is out of 10 for this episode of NXT, which I guess would have been the 9th of November, 2021.
I'd have to go ahead and give this a 5 out of 10. I thought that this was possible, but it's unfortunate to have to give such a low rating to a show that I normally really enjoy.
Yep, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10. Wasn't very chuffed with the show. Highlights were Toxic Attraction and Tony. And I guess Raquel was pretty cool as well.
Right, what about Grayson? What about Cameron Grimes, man?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Not bad. But yeah, bro, like I hope next week's better because I don't want to be a prickly pear, but there are other things out there that I really like to review, and maybe this is just one kind of bad episode, and we'll be back on track next week. But there's a lot of other things out there that I'm intrigued by, but we've only got so much time.
That's right. As you guys well know, we use a rotating rule with our reviewers here. There is no such thing as an indefinite review series here on the WZWA Network. You will never see us go every week we're going to review Raw because it's interminable, and I doubt we'd even get through 2 weeks of it. Every review that we do, every show that we review is subject to being kicked off the lineup, including this one. As we saw, Rampage was the most recent on the chopping block. We no longer review Rampage because it started turning into just basically Dark Elevation plus. So yeah, we'll see. I hope that this was just an anomalous flat episode in an otherwise, pretty good streak of content so far.
Anomalous. Fuck you, Juicy Boy. That's strike 3.
What?
So in 2 weeks, you've had 6 strikes in 2 weeks. Okay.
Pick up a fucking dictionary once in a while.
Yeah, look, man. Look, I said it before. I'm giving AEW to Full Gear, which is this weekend. We'll see what happens. And NXT, I'll give them a few more chances. But that was the show, Juicy Boy. Tell everyone out there where they can find you.
Yeah, well, you can find me on YouTube. Please subscribe. That's youtube.com/user/JuicyBoy, or one word. I'm on Instagram, Juicy_boy, Twitch @JuicyBoy, Twitter @JuicyBoy, Facebook, facebook.com/JuicyBoy. And just in case you might not be aware, the spelling for that is JOOSEYBOY. And I'll see you on social media, folks.
Yeah, and I'm Karlifornia WZWA on Twitter, KARLIFORNIA WZWA. Please subscribe to us here on YouTube. You're watching us right now on YouTube, so just click the subscription button if you haven't already. Also, hit the bell so you can be updated on what we're uploading. We're uploading usually something every day at this stage. We're very organized at the moment, so there's a lot of video game stuff. There's reviews like this. There's skits. There's a whole podcast. There's a whole variety of shit.
Smash.
Yeah.
Smash.
Yeah, bro.
Smash the like button. Smash the like button.
Yep. So, Juice Boy, thank you for your time.
You are very welcome. It is my pleasure, as always, my good friend.
And thank you, everyone out there, for watching the WZWA Network's review show here of NXT 2.0 from November 9th. And we will see you down the road.